Life is too long not to do it right. Say something, somebody.
My name is Alison Theophilus. You have to make time for the most important things because time never stops.
Mr. Champion, life is too long not to do it right. I believe that talks about time management. We have enough time to do what is right. We have enough time to make impact. The difference between the success and the failure is in time management. So let's invest our time so we can live a life of impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the answers given to that teaser. For me, we're all matured people. We can differentiate between right and wrong. And so when we say life is too long not to do it right, it means that you are expected to do things right. Anybody, as like I mentioned earlier, we know what is right, we know what is wrong. Armed robber knows that what he's doing is wrong. So that's why he goes to steal or to rob being armed. You know, the native daughter that kills people to make money, you know what he's doing is also wrong. Shun evil and cleave to the right thing. This is also the issue we're facing in Nigeria today. So we all know what is right at any given time. Let's cleave to that is wrong. So can link it to that of time management. If you manage your time properly, you do something right at the appropriate time. So let us do something that is right. As a student, you know what is right. You know what is wrong. Do that. And then you find out that life God has given to you is really long. As long as you're breathing here on earth, your life is long. Because some of your mates died even at birth, which they call stillbirth. But God still kept you. So let us learn to do something right. It's really a clarion call for us to shun evil and cleave to the right. And when we do so, this environment will be better for each and every of us to dwell in. All right, enough of this. We go straight to the business of the day. For obvious reasons, which could also be avoided or managed in the home, many marriages are in shambles today, and children suffers the dreadful consequences. Where parental care for children in divorced home is the topic for today's discussion. The guests will introduce shortly after this break. Please don't go away. Vivid View.
See and do it.
We are so corrupt in this nation that we think that with corruption you can make it.
Start with what you have.
Exactly. Don't
go and borrow to start a laundry business. You have friends that wear clothes. Maybe the laundry fee in your area is 500. Collect 300. Bros, let me wash your clothes for you.
Join us every Sunday on Vivid View with Eilis.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the topic again is parental care for children in divorce home. And with me today is a clergyman. He's also a family protection professional. Let's make welcome Apostle Sidney Akimolado.
Vivid View.
Say and do it. Before discussion proper, please follow us on social media handles are displayed on the screen. Apostle, you're welcome again.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just go straight to brief introduction, definition, and perspective of the subject matter.
Yes. So, divorce. The fact is, I did a bit of research and I found out that divorce is not something that is well pronounced in this part of the world like it is in, the Western nations or Europe or America and stuff like that. So, what is divorce? Divorce is the legal dissolution of a union between a man and a woman in a marital, arrangement. And so there is this infamous, irreconcilable differences that is always the one to blame for every divorce. And so you find out that, people have just gone into marriages 1 year, sometimes even less than that, and then they're not able to continue.
They say they're incompatible.
They say they are incompatible. And then you're asking the question in the first place, how did you even get to meet? What were the, processes? Well, were the issues that you had to address before going into the marriage
proper.
So we find out that the reason why divorce is not really a topic, but underlining it's really happening, is because there are three factors that are really, really responsible why divorce is not really talked about in this part of the world. Number one is the cultural reason. People are stigmatized as soon as you say you are a divorcee. People don't want to do anything with you. People see you as somebody who has done the unthinkable. Number two is the religious reason. Religious reason in the sense that our two major religions in this part, don't really support divorce. I would, normally say no, make amends, try to find, a common ground, except in the case of infidelity, which is what my faith, says. So, number three is the legal reason, legal, in the sense that it is not a smooth process, as it were. There's this situation or scenario that happened at the time where two persons, a man and a woman who were filing for divorce, went to the court wearing the same, apparel. And the judge was asking, what is it two of you are doing here? You're wearing the same apparel, then you're not even ready for divorce. So I think you two should go home and settle your differences. I like to quickly say that another major reason why we see a lot of divorce cases, rampant in our society is because so many people are going into this union, or what they call marriage as it were, without a grounded knowledge or understanding of what it is at all. There is societal pressure. There is need to bear grandchildren for your parents. There is need to, level up with your mates. And so all of these are putting pressure on the family setting. And so then there is issues of financial challenges. For now, you see the traffic in Lagos is almost reduced to zero because people are not able to, put fuel in their cars and, put food on their table and all of that. So all of these are contributing to why we're saying divorce. But before I just, close on that, I like to use this analogy. What we're experiencing in this part of the world may not look like divorce, but I'll look for a medical term. It's a dangerous variant of divorce. It is actually called separation. It's actually referred to as separation. And that is the mental disassociation from your partner with the sense of wanting to be independent and be alone. And so you have people living together, but mentally, emotionally, they are separated. That is what we're going through.
Thank you so much for that, analogy you gave on divorce. But I am mostly concerned today about parental care for children in divorced home, because it's happening. We will see them, a girl and a boy that courted for 7 good years and eventually married. 3 months after marriage, they have divorced. And I begin to wonder, what's the sense of wasting your bloody time, your precious time for 7 good years, and after 3 months, just 3 months after, everybody have parted with. So, and in their own case, no child yet. But the homes where they have children, what happens to children? How are those children being taken care of? That was why I said that children, they always face the dreadful, consequences. They suffer dreadful consequences. That's what I really want to focus today. So we'll take a break. I will come back. I want you to actually speak on that. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Welcome back. We are still discussing parental care for children in divorced homes. That takes me to the next question. What are the factors that can affect children in divorced homes?
There's a common saying that when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. Yeah. I've always been of the opinion, and that's why when I counsel people, when I talk to couples who are saying, I don't want to do again, because you said I do before, I usually will ask them first, do you have children? I remember many years ago while growing up, one of the reasons why our mothers will remain in any relationship, regardless of what they were going through, would be because of one reason: children. My children.
Yeah.
So children are the ones that are always bearing the brunt. They are the ones at the receiving end of every situation that is, relating to divorce or separation, as the case may be. And so, what do you see? I would like to start with this. In our profession, I'm a family protection professional. There is a subject, it's also related to psychology, that we call ACEs. ACEs stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. Adverse childhood experience. Adverse meaning negative. So what you will find out is that children that are, product of homes that have experienced divorce or have gone through a messy case of divorce would experience what they call adverse childhood experiences. And these things follow them into their adulthood. And so you find cases of young people, there's the statistics that any child or a child likely to have gone through a divorce situation by the parents would most likely end up depressed. That's a very strong statistics. He would end up being one people are associating with what they call antisocial behaviors. And that's why you see children in school sometimes act funny. If the teachers are not aware of what is going on, they find out that, this child is just edgy, is stubborn and all of that. No, it's what is going on in the home. Then you find out that they end up repeating the cycle of what they've gone through.
Yeah.
Okay? So you hear situations like, ladies, I've heard this because we are counselors and so ladies will say, I don't like this man. Why don't you like him? He doesn't beat me. Because my father used to beat my mother. So unconsciously they are repeating the same cycle, that they went through. In the same case, the guys are saying, no, I can't stay with her anymore. Because, when my father used to talk those days, he was the lion of our tribe. So these are kind of things you see. So we've talked about adverse childhood experiences. We've talked about cases like depression, anxiety, even the fear of loss, the kind of relationship they keep with people. These are things that you find out happening to children that are products of this kind of relationship. I was discussing with one of my professional friends, and he says, friend, do you know that 65% of the Gen Z or Gen Y generation that we're seeing today are children from this kind of homes?
Yeah.
And that is why we don't understand the Gen Z generation. We don't understand their feelings, because where they are coming from is a different, position or pedestal from what we are familiar with. And so we must be careful. We must be careful as parents. I tell people parenting or marriage in itself must be intentional. It must be something you are willing to work at. Nothing is perfect. So for those who are going through a case of divorce, always look out for what is the effect, both on you and on the person, on the children, and even the society at large.
Thank you so much. You see the correlation in my thesis with what we are discussing now. There's no man that does not know that he's treating his wife bad. Who say, I don't know that I'm treating my wife bad. The same way, no woman that is treating her husband, but you say, I don't know I'm treating my husband bad. Can we stop that and do the right thing? That's why I say initially that things, there are obvious reasons, but it could be managed or even avoided if we can do the right thing. And so because the children are the one that suffers it. That's exactly what we're discussing anyway. You find most of children under the bridges now because they are single home. They came from single home. The mother is not there, father is not there. In fact, where mother and father are even putting eye, the child they manage to to bend that child, let alone one person. And then if it happens to a man, that man's okay, these are my children, I'm going to take care of my children. And every morning he leaves to fetch for what they will eat. He doesn't know what is going on. It's also a woman that most women want to go with their children when this kind of thing happens. Then the man also abandon the children. He wouldn't want to take responsibility again. So whatever the woman, she can do a shower, she can do anything to pull food on stuff. And those things also influencing the children, as you mentioned. When they grow up, they want to tend to that. And so it's really, really very, very bad. It's a bad situation, really. As he mentioned, that we really need to look at it and do something well. So for our children's sake, you that is bad, you are hitting your wife all the time. Stop beating. Don't turn your wife to punching bag. You that is nagging all the time, your wife, your mouth runs like typewriter. Stop it also, so that you will live. Give respect to your husband. Husband too, love your wife. That's what Bible says. Love your wife. Then wife, respect your husband. If we continue to do this, know our roles to play in our homes, we won't have broken homes. And our children will give them proper training. As Bible says, we should train a child in the way he should go. When he grows, he will not depart from it. We parents are failing, and it's affecting our children. Let us come back and know. There's something that binds you and your husband in future before you agree to go into marriage. What happened to that? What happened to that love? What happened? In fact, please come together. Let's give good training to our children. This is why what we are saying here from this platform. And I know that God will help us to take this message to all of you. Those of you who are even trying to, I will divorce my wife. Please don't. Try and amend. You can avoid that divorce. You can also be managed, because we manage ourselves. Husband manage wife, wife manage husband. That is it. You came from two different homes, so you cannot expect your husband to do exactly what you want. And you cannot also expect your wife to be exactly who you are. So there must be that playing ground for you to understand yourself, and the marriage goes on. All right, we'll take a break now. Come back, we continue. Vivid View, say and do it.
So when youth are being allowed to be part of governance, there's this sense of ownership. And you know something, when something is your own, there's a way you treat it. There's a way you handle it. There's a way you defend it. There's a way you fight for it. One thing about the youth that we notice is that youth are more open to new innovation. They are open to new ideas, new ways of doing things.
Welcome back. We're still discussing parental care for children in divorced home. This takes me to another question. And I say, is there any guarantee of proper care and treatment for any child in a home or family with a new spouse? Because maybe if you to throw away your wife, you go and marry another one. The children that you left, you collected for your wife. I'm the man, the children belongs to me. So you can go, leave my children alone. Then you marry another woman. Is there any guarantee that those children that new wife meets will be given proper care?
Okay, thank you. The answer is both yes and no.
Yeah, it depends on you individual. Yeah.
Yes,
right.
Because there are different kinds of people that we, come to meet or interface with on a daily basis. Let me share a very short story. Recently, I was with someone and I was asking, "Where is your wife?" And he says, "Oh, I'm not with her anymore. In fact, as I speak to you, I've remarried." And I said, "Oh, that's beautiful. How did it happen?" And then the story. So what it means is that what we call divorce sometimes is not usually what we think it is. Sometimes it may be necessary because two persons that don't find a common ground will not be able to live or work together. Even the Bible advises us that can two work together except they agree? So what that means is that there are two scenarios I want to paint here. A child that is from a divorced home may not necessarily end up being a delinquent person.
Of course, that's right.
I have seen children from divorced home who have become completely opposite of what their parents were. They've just grown up, get matured, and become great citizens, great individuals. That in itself is an exception. It's not a norm all the time. And then also you have spouses who have, gotten some other persons, bring them into the home, and who they married was not a wife, but a knife. She became a tiger, a lion, and treated the children badly. And then in some other scenarios, we have seen,
they accept the children
exactly.
too. Yeah.
So it is not a one size fits all. It is a matter of understanding. Because it depends. If you marry someone, many people, I've seen many people who sometimes come to me and say, "Oh, my father wants to get remarried and all of that. Who should he marry?" and stuff like that. And then we give counsel on who they should look out for. Because at that point, you're not even looking at procreating children. Though it happens, some people want to, say, "No, I've come into this marriage, I need to have my own children too." So, but it is about two individuals, coming together and say, we want to cohabit, we want to live together, we want to better our lives. So
that's companionship.
Companionship, that's the word. So it is a yes and no. The child can, live with a spouse and be well treated, and in some cases not. So, and that is why you must play all the cards on the table before engaging in divorce. You must also understand that the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Right, that's
the
true.
woman you are complaining about is just like some other women. This is what I usually advise. When you go into marriage,
sometimes even marry the worst
yes, of
than
course.
the wife you chase down.
Exactly.
The second one, like, because you pretend outside to be very good. Once he comes in, he says, "You think I'm Rose?" You chase out. We also they watch some of them. I'm telling you, it's happening.
And that's the truth.
Yes.
You know. So what happens is that husbands, this is what you must understand. I was in a program recently and I was mentioning to them that when you are called a father, it is not just a nominal role. You are bearing the same name as God Almighty. So you must represent him well on the earth. You must fulfill that purpose here. So what you must understand is that when you marry a woman, you don't change the woman. You don't have the capacity to change the woman. You train her. Okay? And when you are training, you must be patient. There is what we call the currency in family protection. It is time. Everything happens with time. Don't wake up and expect the woman to be like your
change
mother.
overnight.
Don't expect her to just take, because she's coming from a different background. Okay?
Yeah.
So we must understand all of this. So it is important that families must know that if you're bringing a child into a new relationship, there must be understanding, there must be cooperation, and there must be coordination. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you really want to dwell on this, we'll waste really much time. Because, you know, Steve Wonder says first cost is the deepest.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel that your first cost, nothing at all. I see somebody better than you. You bring more demon to yourself. And you start regretting, oh, Jeanette was even better than this one. And so when Rose was outside, you was just behaving well. You will pet you. I'm a woman. We know what you can do. But when that comes in, if you don't say, do you think I'm Janet? You can't don't try that on me. Janet's so stupid because she's so quiet. Don't try that on her. And you'll be surprised. Is this a different person or someone? And then out of shame, you start enduring whatever comes out from that. Because you say, you know, society will count it for you. Number one, number two. If you go not taking, you go to number three. You know, and these things start going on that. So, but what we're saying is that there is always things that we could do to avoid this broken home. There is. Both to the side of the woman and to the side of the man. Just shift ground. You cannot stand on your feet all the time and the man of this house, whatever I say happens. No. I'm the head. Of course, your wife tells you, you're the head. Me, I'm the neck and the shoulder. So if I don't start, I can't carry you. And that's correct. If the neck is not there, can the head remain? So when you as a man bring instruction, yes, look at also your wife's suggestion too. Look at also her own side and see where you two of you can agree. But the time you say, I have spoken, it will not work. And when the woman also want to leave her role to start playing the role of a head, it can also work because you're not the head of the family. A man, you are already under a man. For you to change your father's name to his name shows you are really under him. So don't also do more than yourself. Know what is your role. Give him his due respect that he deserves, and he will show you love. Because that's what God asked them to do to us. Our husband is to love us. And so if you love your wife really, why would she not respect you? That is where the problem lies. And that's where the question is. So we really have a lot to say there, but because of time, let's just limit and pray that little one we have mentioned that God will pass the message to those who are hearing us. We'll take a break now. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
All right, we are still discussing parental care for children in divorce home. That takes me to another question. So how can we protect children in an abusive home or family?
Thank you very much. As a family protection professional, the answer is simple. It is called family protection. Let me at this point define what we have, called family protection. We say family protection is the cultivating of a law-abiding child or citizen to reign in life through mentoring in order that person may develop innate potentials, very good innate potentials, right? So it is important to understand that you cannot cultivate until you are sown.
Of course.
You can't blame them until you have trained them. It's a common saying. So it is important that we understand what that is. It is a child that becomes an adult, that gets married, right? It is that child that becomes a couple with another person and then the larger society. Yeah. So if we don't train a child very well, what will he or she end up to become? That is exactly what we are finding in our society. Exactly. Number two is that in family protection, we have what we call the family protection tools.